know people that have shared their stories with me privately that they haven't even shared with their family because of the shame that it carries.
Check it out, check it, check it out, check it, check it, check it out, check it.
Hey, Greg and the CE, call me hip hop junkie. Straight to your dome piece like grass monkey.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Mel's Truthful Tuesday. I'm so glad to be here with you once again. If this is your first time visiting my channel, it is Mel's Truthful Tuesday, and we are doing empowered, untold stories. We do interviews. I will share my own story about my own life, my own lived experiences, what I've gone through. You know, some of you may not know, and I've said it a few times, but you know, as a child, I went through sexual abuse at the age of 6, and I didn't tell no one until I was 45 years old. And in the middle of writing my book, you know, I thought, well, I'm going to tell the world that I've been abused, and now I have to share this with my husband at the time, my children, my parents, my friends, my family, and it wasn't easy. It was not easy. But I'm here to empower people with these untold stories that can help them to actually be able to take off their own mask and be able to tell people the truth that they've gone through and be able to share these stories and to help someone before they even get to the place of having to have a story, is to help them to see signs of things that they may recognize. These are signs of abuse. This is signs of things that people are going through. So I put on this show just to help people in terms of family, parents, children, people that have gone through abuse, and being able to share their own story as well. So today, as you can see, the title today is No More Shame. No more shame. I spoke about a couple of weeks ago is carrying the shame and carrying how shameful it was carrying the abuse and having to deal with what it looks like and what it feels like to other people. But today we are decreeing on this show today, no more shame. No more shame, no more shame, no more shame. And I say no more shame because I spoke about what it felt like and what other people could feel like when they've gone through abuse. But I went away and I began to think about this, and I began to think it wasn't your fault. I began to think about it wasn't you that allowed you to feel the way you feel. It wasn't what you went through that caused you to make your life into a mess. It wasn't your fault. And so I went away and I thought, no, I need to tell someone that there is no shame. There is no shame. There is no fear. There is none of those stuff. It's just because when you go through the process of coming out of the shame, or in the middle of the shame, wherever part of the process you're in, the enemy will feed you lies and tell you that you'll never have, that you'll never become, that you will never be because of your shame. And I had to go away and think about what that really looks like. And what it looks like to me, that the enemy fed lies that, you know, no one's going to want you. No one's going to be with you because of your shame, because of the shame of your pain and the shame of your trauma and the shame of what you've gone through. But the enemy is a liar. Not because you've gone through abuse that you're never going to be married, that no one's ever going to love you, that you're never going to become anyone. That's a lie from the pits of hell. It doesn't matter that, you know, you went through a nervous breakdown and you was mentally unwell, and it means that you're never going to have a comeback and you're never going to get out of it. It doesn't mean that because you've gone through violence or you've gone through mental abuse that you're not able to live a life of not feeling like you're on edge, or you've got you're fearful of everything. You can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. The devil is a liar. So I want you to know there's no shame in what you went through. There's a feeling that we have. We're not going to deny that. There's a feeling of shame. But I'm declaring today that there's no shame for you, my brother. No shame for you, my sister. And the reason why I say that, because people, they go through things like the abuse, the domestic violence, going to prison, having an addiction, being promiscuous, having different fathers, having different mothers, children, different mothers and different fathers. Going through all of this, being even in church, being a pastor, then made an accusation against you, and then you're no longer this pastor. The shame. And I want to decree and declare to you that there's no more shame. Because there is life after the abuse. There is life after the hurt. There is life after the pain. There is life. I'm a living witness that there is life. So I don't want to muddle up and mix up what it looks like. Yes, I'm taking you on my journey of my untold story. But I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that, you're not going to feel the shame. You're going to feel it. But we're decreeing and declaring that there's no more shame over you. And that you're able, and there is a day when you're going to be able to talk about what happened to you. You're going to be able to talk about the abuse. You're going to be able to talk about the sexual assault. You're going to be able to talk about the addiction. You're going to be able to talk about, the things that went on that no one knows about. One day you're going to be able to speak about it. There's a process to everything. You don't just get, you don't get wine without crushing the berries, without crushing the fruits to make the wine. You have to go through a process. You have to go through the crushing. You have to go through what it felt. You have to go through it. So I won't lie to you and say that there is no shame. We know there's a shame because we feel it. We feel what we had to go through. But when you get onto the other side, the shame is no longer there. You no longer feel that way. As a matter of fact, you feel like, wow, I'm here. Some people keep you in that shame. We're going to tell you the truth because it's Mel's Truthful Tuesday. Some people keep you in that shame and look you up and down, make you feel bad about what you did, don't trust you, don't want to be with you, don't want to talk to you anymore. They make you feel that way. But you have to get to the place that you don't care if what the people say. I told someone over a couple of weekends ago that I had to be delivered from people. I had to be delivered from what they think about me. Because if I ever in 1 ounce made anyone make me feel about me talking about my past, I would not be doing these shows. If I ever allowed anyone to say, Mel, how could you? Why did you? I could never live on. I'm going to tell you the truth. If I allowed anyone to get into my mind and tell me that because you did that and because you did that, you'll never become. The devil is a liar. There is no shame. When you get on the other side, there's a feeling of shame, but there's no shame. There's no shame for you to tell people, I went through this. When you come out of it, let me tell you what the reasoning why you feel shame. Because some of the time it's guilt. You are so living in guilt. You feel so guilty. Oh, it was me. I shouldn't have went into the room. Oh, I shouldn't have gone back. Oh, why did I allow him to do it to me again? And why did I do this again? Because you're so scared to tell someone this person's doing this because you feel like if I tell someone, they're going to say it's your fault. So you live in that guilt. So it goes over in your mind. It's because I did this. It's because I did that. And you go over and over and over and over again. Let me tell you something. It's so sad. I think it was a couple of weeks ago, I was driving on the motorway. I should have shared this the last time. I was driving on the motorway. Think about it. It's 11:20. And the reason why I knew it was 2020, as a matter of fact, it was 23. I remembered it so specific. Driving on the motorway, on the way home, it was dark. I'm on the M20. Everyone knows what the motorway looks like. If you don't, you've got 3 lanes. You've got the slow lane, you've got the middle lane, and you've got the fast lane. Now, normally I drive in the middle lane. I don't really drive in the fast lane. It's normally the middle. This particular night, I decided that I'm driving in the slow lane, talking to my friend, just driving down in the slow lane. Not, just a normal day, no stress, no nothing, just driving, going home. I'm on the M20 on my way I'm just about passing Ashford. And as I'm driving, I see a car coming towards me. Now, a car coming towards me the opposite direction. How on earth is he on the motorway coming towards me? Remember, I'm normally in the middle lane, but today I decided to go in the slow lane, and in front of me was a big lorry, and I'm driving behind it slowly. The car's coming towards me in the middle lane, and I'm looking at the car, and I'm thinking it's going like 100 miles per hour. It's in the fast lane first, and then it comes over as if it wants to come in towards us in the slow lane, and it does a whoosh, and it passes me, and it goes. My heart was in my mouth. I was trembling. I was like, what's going on here? What's happening here? I never looked behind me. Normally, you look in the mirror and say, what happened? I was in a trance. I was on the phone to my friend, and I was saying to her, it's almost like I saw my life flash before me. And I was like, what happened there? And at the same time, it felt like God had moved the car out of the way and didn't allow it to come into my car. I said all of that to say this. I don't know the full story. I didn't know the full story when I was driving, and I didn't know the full story till the next day. And then when I looked in the news, in the Kent news, it said a man in his 20s was driving the opposite way, and in the end went into a van, unfortunately died. The man in the spritzer van, it was a big white spritzer van, had not had any injuries. Now, I heard that and I was like, my God, the time it happened for this particular accident was 23:37 minutes later. This car, out of nowhere, goes into a van. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if this is the truth, but I'm just going by what I believe. Because there's no way in this world that anyone is driving down the motorway the opposite direction and is not thinking about ending their life. My only thoughts was this young person, was he trying to end his life? He was coming towards me in the car. And all I could see was that he was trying to end his life. Now, out of everyone in the world, could have been anyone, but I'm talking about untold stories. I don't know if he had an untold story. I don't know if he was dealing with depression. I don't know if he was trying to end his life. I don't know if he was drinking. I don't know what the story is unless I hear it on the news and I haven't looked it again. But I don't know if this particular incident happened because he had an untold story. I don't know if he was dealing with abuse. I don't know if he was dealing with addiction. But what I do know, that what I could see was this person was either trying to end his life or was intoxicated with alcohol or drugs. Whatever which way, he wasn't safe. Was he someone that was going through something? I even told my friend the other day I'd love to find out and meet his family, because I was someone just 7 minutes before that I may not have been sitting here right now to tell the story. And I thank God that I am sitting here. But I'm also sad on the other hand that this guy was only in his 20s. And he's lost his life. Whether he was drinking, whether he was abused, whether he was going through hurt, whether it was a relationship breakup, whatever it may have been, this man has lost his life. And that's why I've put these platforms on to share these untold stories, to help people like this young man, to help men and women that have gone through trauma, that is going through trauma, that are not able to speak. There's some people that are so locked up, they can't even take off their mask because they think they're going to lose everything. They think they're not going to have anything. They feel like they're not going to make it. They feel like their family might disown them. Their husband or wife will leave them. Their children will disrespect them. I know people that have shared their stories with me privately that they haven't even shared with their family because of the shame that it carries. And how can I tell them this? If I tell them this is what's going to happen. If I tell them this is going to happen. But I want you to remember the story that I've told you. That I was on the motorway. I nearly got killed. But it wasn't really my life that I'm worried about my life, yes, but I'm worried about this young man that never went to tell his story, if he had a story. Because in my eyes, it looked like I want to end my life. Because how are you coming on the opposite side 100 miles per hour and coming towards a car and a van? The only reasoning behind that in my mind is that you wanted to end your life. And so it's really difficult to not share these stories so that people will no longer have that shame. Let's use a synopsis. Supposing he was someone that was dealing with abuse, but the shame of it, he thought the easier way out is to end my life. That I won't have to tell anyone, that I can take this to the grave. It's very, very difficult. But I want you to know, men and ladies, that you have to carry. There is no shame in this. And how do we know that a platform like this may have helped that young man? May have just helped that young man. So ladies, men, don't leave your stories out there. Don't take your stories to the grave. I could have been the person that wouldn't be here now talking to you because of that young man who may be going through something, who may have been going through something, just wanted to end it that day. And so, I said all of that to say this. There is no shame. It will be a process and it will take time. But in the end, you will see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I know that might sound like a cliche, but take, as I said earlier on, my template of that there is life after trauma. This was Mel's Truthful Tuesday, and I hope to see you again next week. Like, share, subscribe. This may go to that young person. This may go to that mother and father who wants to identify if their child's going through abuse. It will help those that are actually going through it right now to say there is life after this. So take care. God bless you.
Check it out, check it.